I am very honored to be here, and I would like to thank Richard and Rebecca. And when I came in early, because I flew in from Cebu, I was kind of sort of flustered because I got introduced to the professional speaker guys, and I'm like, this is like throwing a party and cooking, and suddenly a chef shows up in your house. It's quite scary, but I thought it's a great way to tell myself, empower yourself, you can do this. So I will talk briefly about myself because I was told I should, so that I could share my story. So let me start with, on the slides, you can see some sort of a gist about who I am. I'm a proud salesperson. Not a lot of salespeople will say that, but I'm actually proud of being one. I love it. I started my career in sales when I was 15 by selling encyclopedias to my aunts. They had no choice. And the reason why I sold those is because I wanted the encyclopedia and I cannot afford it. So I'm also a serial entrepreneur, and I'll tell you which industries I've been to. But essentially, I became an entrepreneur because I was a salesperson. And I think nothing in this world, no business, no endeavor will succeed if you do not know how to sell. So for those who say that you can do it, the fact that you ask allowance from your parents if you're young kids, the fact that you convince your husband to buy you things, you're selling something. So anyway, so my stint as a salesperson cover a gamut of industry. I started in the travel industry. I had a spa. Travel is very close to my heart because I was a travel agent for a long time. I was also a hotelier. I also own, let me see. I went into retail. When I was 20 years old, I had a maternity shop. I was single and a virgin, and I operated a maternity shop. What I learned was, you just have to look around. The idea came to me because I was working as a hotelier, and my office mate got pregnant, and from being so nice looking, she suddenly was wearing tents. It was so disgusting. So I decided I'm gonna get a shop. Of course, it folded because I didn't know much about business. So my entrepreneurial career is a gamut of success and failure. What I know for a fact, as I stand here, is that we women are equipped to handle failure. We are the only probably creature in the world who can give birth, almost die, and forget about it by the time we have the second kid. We are meant to do this. Literally. They say giving birth is the most painful thing in the world. They did studies about it. Men cannot handle the kind of pain we can handle. And this is the same in empowering yourself, in endeavoring to do best with what you do. Forget the pain. Yeah, cry, experience, learn from it, and move on. I'm also a lifelong student and a mentor. I like mentoring because I think it's a cycle. When you teach, you learn. When you learn, you will want to teach. So, and it's something that is, I think, innate in every people, in every person. You start with a survival instinct first, where you need the basic instinct in life. Once you are past the hunger stage, or once you know you do not have to worry about the meals, you suddenly want to grow mentally, emotionally, career-wise, and then you want to build your legacy. So this is why I like learning and I like mentoring, because I think it has surfaced in my life now. So I'm also a good governance advocate. This is the one aspect of my life that is so frustrating, but I cannot not do. I think it's all incumbent upon us to demand the best from our leaders. The best from ourselves, the best from our employees, but so much more from our leaders. I am very proud to say, I shouldn't brag, but I wrote 2 books last year, last year, and both of them became an Amazon bestseller. the first one was within 24 hours, and the second one was within 48 hours. I will show you where, well, it's in my website if you are interested to buy. I'm a full-time single mother. I became a widow in 2008. My romance novel of a husband, who looks like Daniel Craig, was so nice, God took him away. So, but such is life. And as if I will summarize it, I believe I am an empowered woman, and I've always been empowered and will always be empowered. Now, I'll move on to how because our theme is empower the women, develop the nation. So the next section is about how we help develop the nation, how my company helps doing that through technology. But let me tell you how I got into technology. It's all based on the foundation of me being a salesperson. But the second part is because I'm scared of technology. And I thought, why not go for technology? Why not? So this is my company. It's called GetMore Philippines. We are what you call a property technology company. Essentially, it's technology for real estate industry. And our goal is to bridge the gap, the technological gap between the builders, brokers, and the buyers. So, why real estate and why this goal? This is how big the real estate industry is globally. It is worth $225 trillion. It's bigger, 3 times bigger than all the global economies combined. That's how big it is. If you think about it, no other industry in this world can survive without real estate component. You have to have offices and so on and so forth. So, why this goal? Because despite the size, real estate industry is very slow in adapting to technology. And there are 2 sides in the real estate industry. You've got the build and the sell. Because that's the nature of the industry, build and sell. The first 2 are in the build side, the design and the construct. If you've ever heard of 3D printing of materials, even houses can be built 3D printed in 48 hours. Like that's how high-tech the building side of real estate is. But the market, which is essentially marketing, the transact, which is the selling, and the manage and operate, which is the customer service, is all very manual. Remember, if you have ever encountered a broker, they usually bring flip charts of the brochures and make you sign so many papers. It doesn't make sense not to automate that bit, because that's part and parcel of the whole industry. So these are the inefficiencies of a manual process. This is what we're trying to solve. So if you're a real estate developer or anything, if you're selling anything, if you're doing it manually, your market reach is very limited. Your cost for sales and marketing shouldn't be that high, because automation would lower that cost exponentially. Then your poor customer experience. Okay. Personal service does not mean manual. Personalized service does not mean purely face-to-face. You can automate certain functions, because I think you will agree that customers will consider a good service when it is efficient, which means quick, and it's accurate. Technology will enable that, because it's not prone to human error. So, difficult data gathering. If it's manual, data gathering is almost impossible. If it's manual, data analytics doesn't exist. And which brings me to the last point, the not so precise property and buyer fit. Right now, properties are designed based on historical data. What was bought by clients before, what kind of condo before, they never pay attention to what the clients want to buy in the future because they never track it. So it's a reactive kind of building. And in this day and age, we cannot afford to be reactive. So do we get rid of the traditional way? Especially because our software is on the sales and marketing side. So does our traditional manner or traditional way of promoting marketing totally irrelevant? No, it's not. Because you have markets that are not so digitally exposed. You call them digital migrants, like us. We were not born with digital or technology. We just learn how to adopt. Then the generations after us, what you call digital natives, they have never existed in their life without technology. But the money rests with the digital migrant, not the digital natives. It's the parents who can afford to buy real estate. So those are the target for billboards. It's for branding. It's for those that are not so into social media. So then social media and all these digital systems are best for both, for branding and for lead generation, for data gathering. The key is to gather the data. So, in every touch point of sales, this is why we build the system. In every touch point, in every time a buyer talks to a customer, you need to get the data. You need to get the information because this is when you establish the kind of customer service you're going to give, the kind of, I suppose, products in the future if they're not ready to buy yet. Because people tend to forget those that did not buy yet. Circumstances change. And when they change, what are you going to do if you don't remember who these people are? Then you got to spend money again advertising. But if you have the data with you, you can promote to these people. You can tap these people with very little cost, just internet access. So the goal of our system is to combine all your channels into one platform. Now, let me tell you why we designed the system. As a lifelong salesperson, I can tell you now 2 things I know for a fact. My best salespeople hates making reports. But you cannot fire them because they're your best salespeople, correct? But management needs data. So this is one reason why. The other one has nothing to do with software, but this is my hiring principle when I hire salespeople. My number 1 criteria for hiring a person, and call me, I don't know, a misogynist maybe, but it's single mothers. They are the best salesperson I've ever encountered because they are driven by need to feed their kids. And second, women in general are better salespeople because as I've mentioned earlier, we're more equipped to handle pain. So the pain of rejection, we can move past easier. It has literally, only when you're young, do you think, like literally only when you're young do you think rejection is about you? So that's a little, okay. So our solution, this is what our software is. It's a specifically designed, intuitively integrated real estate platform. We have 2. We have one for the real estate developers and one for the brokers. For the real estate developers, it allows them to sell their units anywhere in the world in real time. For the real estate brokers, it allows them to operate a brokerage company in virtual office. Literally no office needed. by itself. It can function independently, it can stand alone, but once integrated, it becomes exponentially more powerful. The key is, so the difference is this, our system, there are many systems, are like customer relationship management, CRMs. If you're familiar with the term, it's what you use to manage your customer. There are many already in the market, but they are internal system. What I mean by internal system is your staff would have to go to your office if it's not cloud-based. Cloud-based means you can access it through the internet. So if it's not cloud-based, the staff has to go to the office, fill in the bloody data. They spend on average an hour and a half a day. So for your salespeople, this is tragic because they'd rather be selling than filling these forms. So our system, because it's client-facing, it's cloud-based, it's client-facing, which means they bring their laptop, tablets, phone. It has mobile capability. So what happens is they bring it to their sales meeting, use that for the brochures, use that to record all the data about the client, notes, whatever, and it becomes essentially, you don't have to go home or go back to your office to fill up this customer information sheet. You also can make the reservations for the unit real time. So you don't have to call the office and go, hey, is this unit available? And so on and so forth. So it cuts down, it removes that 1 hour and a half a day that is required for you to fill in your data. That's the bottom line promise. This is what you get when you use a system like ours. You get 50% increase in productivity, 65% achievement in sales quota as compared to 22%, I think, if you don't have a system or if it's manual. There's a 40% reduction in the labor cost connected to managing your customer. And yet, you have a 74% increase in customer satisfaction. So if you, why is this is all very important to me. This is why I'm super passionate about our software, because salespeople work on commission. And for us, time is gold. So anyway, hang on. Okay, I missed that one. So wait, there's more, as they say in a TV ads. This is what it can do when integrated together. For a real estate developer, you can expand your sales channel at no cost because My Realty is available globally. So literally, you can sell your project using brokers located everywhere who has a My Realty subscription. And these are our clients. So if you are a real estate developer and you're not here, hello, I'm available. We'll give you special rate because Richard invited me here. So that's basically how my company is helping develop the nation. We want to be a tech hub of Asia. This is the goal. And I can tell you now, there's no other software in the world that does what our software does. Believe me, I check every month. We Google every month. The reason why I Google every month, and because we want to find our competition. I've always said, you cannot be a beauty queen, or at least claim proudly that title, if you're the only girl in the village. You have to have competition. So that is empowered woman for you. So ito self-promotion, empowered woman. That's my first book. It's called Fueled by Fear, Fortified by Pride, Powered by Logic. That title came about because I love to read, and I read a lot about my heroes. And what I notice about their books are that they are portrayed as some kind of superhuman being with this superhuman knowledge or above average talent of being an entrepreneur, of succeeding in life. And I ask myself, because I don't feel like I have those talents, but how did I manage? And I looked back and I realized I was always scared, but I never let fear conquer me. I was too proud to fail. And I used that so I will not give up. And of course, my failure happened because I never used logic. And I realized I succeed if I kind of balance the whole thing. So that's why the book is that. And the second one is just about my business. So thank you very much, and I hope that helped.